Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, the infamous show. Heard round the world, my friends, round the world in the marketing universe. And we'd like to welcome you here to yet another exciting week of stories and interviews and just an enormous amount of value in training that is pretty much right at everybody's fingertips. A lot of times we even have some of the people that want to grow up and be like us. Some of the gurus and the goblins out there who copy our strategies and wonder how so many people in our community are succeeding. And they can even come on Wake Up Legendary and listen to the strategies that we share and that our students share, quite frankly, so openly and so helpfully and honestly. And so hello to anybody out there who's wanting to copy our strategies. A special shout out to anybody who's in the DMs, who's actually showing up to these Facebook lives and hitting up our clients and our students, trying to pitch them in their DMs, garbage courses and quite frankly, just lots of waste of time and money. So special shout out to those folks who may be joining us this morning. And well, let's jump into it. We've got a special guest this morning. And as you can see, I mean, wow, how more raw does it get here from fast food worker to digital marketer? Let's hear a story. Davis, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hi everyone. Hi Dave. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, my man, for a Monday, coming out of a long weekend for me, getting back up into the swing of things. And I guess I'm just grateful that my commute to work this morning wasn't too far. Otherwise, I might have had, a lot of time to get real grouchy if I had to sit in traffic or something. So special shout out to anybody who's listening to us in traffic right now. If you listen to what Davis shares, and Davis, I haven't even heard your story yet, but there's a good possibility that in the near future, I don't know how soon, we could make your commute shorter and more enjoyable, right? So, anyways, tell us how you got started and how you found Legendary, Davis.
I want to say this. I've been visualizing every single day to be on a call, to be on an interview with you, Dave. Like every single night, I imagined like t talking with you, and now it comes true. So I'm very excited today, and a
That's
bit
an
nervous
honor,
as well.
buddy. That's a real honor, man. Thank you for sharing that, and it's just as much of an honor for me to be speaking to you, buddy. So, but that is the power of visualization, isn't it? And just thinking about what you want to happen. And I think the majority of people that I meet think about all the bad things that they don't want to happen. But when you step back and look at it, well, you're spending all that time thinking about all those bad things, and the world has a weird way of giving you exactly what you're thinking about, and also giving you exactly what you're most afraid of, right? So thanks for sharing that, man, and that's really powerful. A lot of people wonder how I have become, where's been my training and where's my speaking training or public speaking training or any of that kind of stuff. And it all comes from that same thing, visualizing myself being in that environment. Whether, say, I'm going to do an event, visualizing myself speaking in that environment and rehearsing that over and over again. And then when I get there, it's almost like I've already been there. I've seen myself crushing it, and it's not as scary. It's because I've already prepared my. So we could talk about that for an hour, Davis. But first, there's so much to talk about. But anyways, tell us a little bit about you, and thank you for sharing that. What you just did.
Okay, so my name is Davis, and currently I'm 19 years old. I live in France for my study, and I've I'm originally from Vietnam, and currently I do affiliate marketing besides having my first year in college. And my goals on this call with you on this interview is to share as much value as possible to inspire others, and
Mm.
like to tell about my biggest defeat mistakes so that everyone can avoid that, or maybe if someone have already done that, then you can find the way to the fast track so that you will never make that mistake again and
Mm.
how to get out of it.
So you're 19.
Yes, I'm 19.
Wow. And you say that you're currently where right now?
So I'm in France right now.
You're in France right now, and you're
Yes,
originally from Vietnam.
yes, exactly.
And you're there studying. You're there at a university. Is that what you're doing?
Yes,
And on the side, you're actually also doing affiliate marketing.
yes, I'm doing affiliate marketing on the side.
Sheesh. I know grown people in my town that's never gotten on an airplane, for God's sakes. And you're halfway around the world, and doing studying, and then you're also so that's a lot. First and foremost, I want to just what is driving you to do so much? I mean, it's got to be something more than just your parents want you to do it, because you wouldn't then be taking additional action there in France.
So actually, I was born in a low income middle class family, and I've been through a lot of rough time. So I, in my entire life, I've been working hard um, to um, to try to live a different life, try to do different things from my family, because I don't want to do the same thing that my parents did. I don't want to be struggled financially, and never have enough time. So I always work hard and hustle whenever I have time to be able to have my dream life in the near future.
Yeah. How are you going to college? How is that being financed?
So actually, I have spent like 1 year in Vietnam to learn French, and more than 1 year, and then I came here. Um, I think since 2020 to have another year to learn French in here, so that this year I'm able to learn in the college. And actually, when I learn in French, then the tuition fee is basically free.
Oh wow. So you figured that out, that if you learn French, you can go to France and go to university for mostly free, for low to no cost. Is that right?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, friends, I want to just point one thing out. I mean, I'm just meeting you now for the first time, Davis, but just the resourcefulness of that alone is really impressive. So now you get to France. You've been practicing French back in Vietnam. Now you're also continuing to practice French there in France, and you're learning. But you're speaking to me in English now. Where does that come into the picture? Because
So
that you were that's not what your family speaks, is it? They speak Vietnamese, right?
yeah, so
Okay.
most of the time I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I try to um, talk the way they did, and just intimated what they did and try to speak fluently in English. And I know that I will be doing business in English in the future, so I tried my best to speak fluently in English.
Hmm. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Davis. I mean, the reason why I'm asking you these questions, you are giving us value by just helping us to see everything that you're doing and everything that you've done. And it- you know, we sometimes I sometimes I have no idea what it's like to be born into a country like Vietnam. I don't know. Maybe you had a wonderful life, but you were just saying that you had a lot of poverty that you grew up around. And the other thing that I'm noticing is that you had to leave your country for bigger opportunity. That's also something that is that's a whole different level of having to go after it. I mean, it's just so that's helpful to me and to people who were born in America who there's all the opportunity in the world really is here. And that's one of the things that I scream out to my American friends, for God's sakes, and I'm not, I love America and I love my American friends. And a lot of times, I'm just like, hey, look, there's a lot of opportunity here. So did I get that right? Did that feel like that fit, that you grew up around a lot of poverty and then had and watched your parents struggle, and you basically had to leave your homeland for bigger opportunity? And eventually, where do you see yourself going?
So I've been dreaming big since I was really young. Like I've been dreaming of like living the life without worrying about money, living a life
Not, wow,
like
really?
yeah. So like, but I didn't know how can I do that. The only thing that I knew when I was young was to study really hard at school, trying to get the best grades so that I will have the opportunity to go on another country to have big opportunity. That's the only thing I know, and I was just thinking that I'm gonna learn really hard and I'm
Hmm.
gonna get like a high paying job in another country, so that I will be able to live a new life and also help my parents.
Okay. So ultimately, where you're probably thinking and been dreaming about just traveling the world and just exploring, and who knows where you're going to maybe you're going to have a house in America, a house in Vietnam, you'll have a house in France. All right, let me ask you this question. Where does affiliate marketing and in online marketing fit into all this for you?
So actually, it's a long story. Like last year, I started my first ever job in my entire life. I didn't have any prior experience or like, any experience in a job for so, and it was in the pandemic. It was really hard to get a job, and eventually, I found a job in a fast food restaurant, like a Japanese fast food restaurant, and
Mm,
I was paid like $8 an hour, the
mm.
minimum wage, and I was working really hard, working
That pissed
extra
you
shift.
off, huh? Did
Yeah.
that pissed you off? You're like, This is not good enough, huh?" You're like, "This is does not fit my dream." This is so again, what happens? Tell us. See, he's talking about some pain right now, folks. He's talking about something that's uncomfortable, that the worst thing possibly that could happen to you, right? You've been dreaming about being wealthy and successful your whole life, and now you're making minimum wage. Continue with the story.
So because I didn't have any experience, like I have never cook been cooking for others my entire life, and
Mhm.
that's why my boss mistreated me. Not only my boss, but other colleges. They mistreated me. They bullied me, and I even got verbally abused, and that made me really hate my job. I felt stressful. I lost my self confidence. I had low self esteem. Like basically, I felt really crappy when I had to go to work, and at the time I also like it was also life changing because I was also reading the books Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Mm.
and I just adapted every single thought that he gave me, like, and Robert gave me, and I just embraced the mindset, and that made me even hate my job more. I hate my job more, even more, and that's why I try to find a way to make money online.
Oh, wow, you were reading that book before you came online?
Yes, because
Oh, that's
I was
crazy.
looking for ways to I wanted to find a way to get my dream life, and I couldn't just do the same thing like most other people are doing. So I need to read more books to expand my mindset. because I know that the current version of myself and my mindset couldn't get me to my dream. So
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
when I started everything.
Okay. So what led you to Legendary, and tell us, bring us current now to what's happened here over when did you find Legendary? How long has it been? To give us some timelines and some ideas of how things are happening. You're looking like you're more excited to talk about this part now.
Sure. So I like in March last year, like 2021, I started my first entrepreneurship journey, like beside my fast food restaurant job. So I actually got into growing theme pages on Instagram. I bought a course from a really successful entrepreneur on Instagram, and I tried to learn every single knowledge that I could. And
Mhm.
actually, that course was a false promises, because the guys who sold me that course, he told me that if you bought this course, you're going to learn how to make 3K, 5K per month. But it didn't happen to me, because that course just taught me how to like all the advanced or on like normal strategies on Instagram, but they didn't taught me how to they didn't teach me how to um, monetize that. So I started to selling my service for $90, trying to help others to grow and create a brand on Instagram. And I have been hustling with that from March until August. So it has been like 5 months of hustling for $90 for my
Wow.
service, and it was really tiring for me.
Mhm.
And that's when I saw many like reels of flip masters on Instagram, and I
Right.
just give it a go. Like, okay, so I needed to change. I couldn't do it anymore, because I couldn't just selling my service for $90 and helping a lot of people at the same time.
Yeah.
It just led to burnout. So I discovered affiliate marketing. Um, I watched your videos, and I just enrolled in Legendary Market the right way
Mm.
on
And
August.
when was that?
In August,
August of last year?
yeah, in August last year.
Wow. Wow. And what's happened since then?
So I started I think like in a really struggle way, like many people are watching this live stream. So um in September, in the beginning of September, I started to post my first ever videos on TikTok. Like
Mhm.
I was very fortunate to, after 3 days of posting like on TikTok, on Pinterest, on Instagram, I got my first commission. But it took me 1 month to get another commission. And the thing is that I was just thinking that affiliate marketing is just about to have the pre-made sales funnel, pre-made email marketing part, and I just need to create as much viral content as possible. I didn't. So my mistake was that I didn't have any target audience. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just thinking like, okay, so I'm gonna create a lot of viral content, and I got a lot of views so that I can make a lot of money. But it it wasn't true at all.
Yeah. So you learned, are you saying that you thought that getting in and being successful with affiliate marketing was just about creating viral content?
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking back then.
And what have you learned? What how would you describe, if I was to say, to ask you now, how can I be successful in affiliate marketing? How would you describe the formula? If it's not simply making viral content and doing that only, what is that formula?
Okay, so before I would like to talk about my defeats so that I can lead to the lessons that I have learned. Okay, so
To your defeat, you want to talk about your defeats first?
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
perfect. Yeah, no,
So
that's great.
from from September to November last year, in 2 months, I grew my TikTok from 0 to 40 to 43K followers. And that was my first TikTok. But the thing is that my videos went viral in the countries where Legendary doesn't work with. And people replied in the comment in their own language, which I cannot understand, and they replied to my email marketing in their language as well. So I had like almost 4,000 subscribers in my email list,
Yeah.
but they weren't target audience, and they couldn't be monetized as well. So when
Right.
I discovered that, whenever I saw a video, I was feeling really terrible that whenever I saw a video myself going viral, I changed the privacy of that video to only me so that it couldn't go viral anymore, because I didn't want anyone who are not from the countries that I want to watch the videos. So, and I have been in that point for like 2-3 weeks,
Yeah.
and then I was in a really big defeat, and I was in a really terrible point, and I at that moment, after 1-2 weeks of being really depressed, feeling terrible, myself feeling like a loser, and that was the biggest defeat that I have. I decided to, I'm gonna start over again, and I deleted my email list, 4,000 subscribers, and also I started a new TikTok with a brand new things. Because of that failure, I discovered many things new, and I treated the failures as a lesson, as a teacher, not something that could make me quit.
So, so what did you do different? Because what I'm hearing that happened was every time, and let me just make sure that I got this correct. Every time a video began to go viral, it would attract people from countries that didn't speak a language that you understood. And like for example, this is absolutely positively nothing against people from this country, but we found that India, we had eventually basically had to stop taking customers from India because we were experiencing a lot of fraud and stuff like that. So basically, what you're saying is that you were getting a lot of people that were responding and seeing your videos that were from countries that either, you know, place like a company like us didn't accept customers from, or spoke a language that you didn't understand. And so every time a video would take off and go viral, you would actually set the video to go private. And so it didn't go viral. And then you had a email list also of 4,000 subscribers who were mostly, you're saying, this group of people. And so basically you looked at that, you said, hey, this is a defeat, I'm going to start over, I'm going to start from scratch. And you did. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I got, so then what happened?
So I put my head down. I spent a week to
And
think.
just to recap, Davis, anybody who's just coming on or needs a refresher, I said David or Davis, what 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 do you know? How would you describe the formula to be successful in affiliate marketing? And he said, let me tell you first about my defeats. Let me tell you about my failures. So what you just described was sort of, you described it like, hey, this is a defeat. Let me start over, and with a new outlook and with new wisdom, and tell us what happened next.
Okay, so first of all, I try to find out who my target audience is, because I know that when we try to target everyone, when we try to do like general contents on any type of social medias, we would attract a lot of different types of people. So I want to make sure that I only attract my target audience. So
Okay.
I try to to find my target audience. I try to look back at myself, like in the past, like when I was like what makes me feel terrible, and like try to figure out my pain points and my desire, and I try to put that into the content. So first of all, have a target audience. You need the target audience is someone like can relate the most to you and you can understand the most. So it should
Mm-hmm.
be the old version of yourself.
Mm.
And then what I do is that I change the content strategies. Also, started to learning copywriting, storytelling, funnel building. So I try to write my own email,
So you
creative.
changed the messaging in your content is basically what you're saying. And what did you change it from, and what did you change it to?
So before I was creating like SISO contents like how to do like make $20 per hour with Google, for example. So I changed
Right,
it
right.
to
You were doing the quick whatever ways to make money, blah 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 that everybody does. And what did you start doing?
so I started to target my so I started to create content for my target audience. I tried to try to be authentic, try to show myself, tell my story. Um,
And your story's wonderful, by the way. I mean, the question, the real challenge that we all have is how do you tell? And I looked up at the clock right when I said, when you had told, you had told your story about going to France and being in college and doing affiliate marketing. We were about 15 minutes into the show, and the question or the challenge that everybody has is, how do I take that story and condense it down into 30 seconds or 15 seconds? And that's, you all have heard me do that over and over again. I'm like, hey, my name's Dave Sharpe. I'm a former, high school dropout, teenage father, recovering heroin addict who had no future, convicted felon. I mean, I got arrested right when I was 18 for running from the cops, and they put, so this business allowed me to overcome all that and build a life and a future despite not being able to get hired for dang near a minimum wage job in my city because of my past and kind of mistakes that I'd made. So anyways, I've been telling that story over and over again, and for you and for all of us, when we're creating, the content's getting shorter and shorter, and we've got to figure out how can we deliver value, how can we tell a story, how can we create, how do we do that in 15 seconds, or do we have to do that in 15 seconds? Maybe we don't. A lot of it is putting more effort into your bridge page video. That's where you have a bigger opportunity there once you've collected the email to tell more of your story and bond with your potential customer right before they go and see that sales page. So maybe we don't have to tell our story all in 15 seconds. But anyways, Davis, now that you've told us a little bit about your failures and your messaging, I want to know a little bit more about your messaging and how you went from the kind of copycat content that everybody else does. We all do it when we first come in, to finding your own voice and finding your own message, telling your own story. And you know what? Here's the other thing, folks. When we talk about delivering value, that means, let me break it down. And Davis, you'll understand this because I'm going to speak real, I'm not going to, trust me, I'm going to speak in plain English language right now. Okay. Don't make shit too complicated, and don't explain some shit that you don't understand. You know what I mean? That's how you deliver value. You just say, okay, is this some shit that I understand right here? Landing page, the concept of a landing page. Okay. Because if I don't understand it and then I'm going to go over here and try to deliver value, and no, it's not going to work. So I really got in Davis, what I realized, my friend, is that delivering value was a lot simpler. It was just, I'm delivering value all day in my life. I'm trying to be helpful and valuable everywhere I go. If I enter into a conversation and I know something about the topic, I say, "Ooh, here's my experience. Wow, that was helpful what you shared. Here's my experience." If I walk up to a group of people and I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't add value by just popping in like an asshole and talking about something that I don't know anything about, right? I listen a little bit and I learn. But here's my point. And Davis, I'd like to know if you believe this too. Once somebody's gone through the 15-day challenge, let's say marketing and make money online is your niche, you've got enough information to talk about some things. You understand enough to be dangerous. And, say dog training is your niche. Well, if you're even thinking about doing dog training, you've probably owned dogs and you know stuff about dog training. And so that is stuff you talk about. That's how you deliver value. But we make it so difficult because we say, oh, delivering value must be talking about like some rocket science or something. And it's really not. So anyways, you found that just telling your story and delivering value that was authentic to you was more helpful than just kind of, here's 5 ways to make money with Amazon and just doing a video that you saw somebody else do, which, by the way, folks, it's not a problem. We're not saying that doesn't work. That does work. It just might attract your wrong audience, right, Davis?
Yeah. So actually, like I tried to including myself in the content. Like, why did I started? What pain did I have when and what was my desire? Like, I wanted to quit my job. I hated my job and my boss and working in a stressful place. I hated to have to come out the restaurant at 11 p.m. almost every single like 3 days a week, for example.
Right.
So I tried to
Right.
include my pain, the reason why I started,
Yeah.
my journey, my goals.
And that's the
Like,
most important stuff. That's you know what? Because before they even ever care about the mechanics of what you're doing to make money, they just want to know that you really understand what they're going through and that you can relate, that you understand that you're not their asshole boss, but you're somebody who's been in their position. And you're saying, I hated my job. Maybe you do too. Or I hate my job. Maybe you do too. Right. Or whatever it is. But in your case, it was, hey, I hated my job. Right. And you started talking about the pain, even abuse. You're talking about things that are real stuff and that evoke real emotion, that they bring out real emotion. I think a lot of people can relate to, did my boss just verbally abuse me? Like, I think that happens more than people talk about. And so for you to come out and be so courageous to talk about that, what has been the response to you sharing really powerful and vulnerable in a good way, in a courageous way, not in a weak way? What's been the response to things like that?
so like since I started doing that, I got a lot more DMs from people who also felt the same pain. Like they shared their story in the DMs with me on Instagrams, and I also felt them, and I tried to, like, so I totally felt how you feel. So this is what I do, and this has helped me to do this, do that, and I try to give them the opportunity, provide them more value, like how you can do that, step
Yeah.
by step, and then tell them to, like, this was the challenge that I take, so you can do
Yeah.
it too.
A lot of times they don't even need a call to action. I mean, they already see what you're doing. They know. And a lot of times people are watching you and they're just waiting to really see if you're that person who they really can trust, and the way that people trust you is that you open up and give them a piece of your dirty laundry or a skeleton from your closet or a secret or something that's vulnerable. And you say, that's the way that we bond with other humans. We bond in the way of giving. Hey, I give you some bread or some food. You give me some food. My son's doing it right now. I see him. He's 1.5. and he's like trying to feed everybody because he thinks that's everybody feeds everybody because we've some he's very independent, but sometimes he still likes to be fed, right? So also the other way we bond in society, as humans, is through obviously love and in romantic sexual attraction. We bond with parent and child. We bond with siblings and relatives, but we also bond with friends when we open up and share something, or even strangers. We bond with strangers. Actually, that's a better strangers when we open up and we reveal something about ourselves that reveals a weakness, a wound, and we say, hey, here's a piece of me that I want to share with you. And you would be amazed. I know people who are running such simple businesses, and affiliate marketing is such a simple business. They have an email list of a few thousand people, anywhere from usually if they've been in the game, these people have 10, 20,000 people or more on their email list, but not hundreds of thousands. And they have such influence over their small audience because they bond so deeply with their audience. Their audience loves them so much. It doesn't require a huge audience, because the people that are following you and listening to you are more trusting of you. And I think that's been one of my big secrets, is just I open up in my videos, in my sales videos, in all of my stuff. I kind of open up and I give every single stranger a piece of me right in the beginning. And I say, hey, here's something that you can use against me if you want. If you want to hold it against me, you can use it against me if you're that. But this is who I am, and here's what I've done about it, and here's what I've done with it. And absolutely the person could take it and run and go, oh, this guy's a piece of shit, or, oh, I don't like this person, or whatever. But you know what? That rarely ever happens. The worst thing that happens is they either leave a shitty comment, which is never about me. It's always about how shitty they feel about themselves. Or here's the worst thing that can happen too. They X out of the screen. That's it. Just X out and leave. I don't even feel that. I don't even know that happened, but that's enough. Or the opposite of that is I've won over a fan of somebody who I've earned the respect of somebody. I've earned the trust of somebody. And that is so much. I mean, people don't give, what is the saying? They don't know how much you care until you care how much, something like that. They don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. Anyways, Davis, what's coming up for you, and tell us more about how this has played out for you.
So also I try to focus on storytelling because it is one of the key to success in like online marketing, which is I believe because like when you tell your story, more people will relate to you and they will know, like, and trust you more, and they will understand that they can do it too. And the more you share your story, not only on in content but also in the funnel, or especially in the email marketing, I would suggest that like everyone has like pre-made funnel or pre-made email marketing, but I would suggest that to write your own emails so that you can truly learn the skill. Like maybe create a funnel in your way, but you also share your story, and then you will actually learn the skill. And once you learn the skill, you will actually get on the right way, instead of just like create content and having like pre-made things like funnels or email marketing. You need to tell your story, like focus on storytelling, write your own email, create the funnel, and that's how you develop that skill, and that skill are long-term success for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's one of the reasons why we at Legendary here have moved away over the years from like too much pre-made stuff. Done for you emails, done for you traffic, done for you funnels. The reason why people sell that kind of stuff is because it's easy to sell. It's easier to sell that. Stop looking at things from the eyes of a consumer and look at it from the eyes of a marketer. We could sell done for you stuff all day long here at Legendary. It's easier to sell. Oh, we'll do it all for you. But you know what? It's hard to deliver a quality product to somebody. It's hard to deliver a unique product, a product that's actually going to stand out in the marketplace. And it's one of the reasons why when I was doing network marketing back in the day, I I you know, the number one way to fail was to use the company replicated site, the same, and send people to this, it's just, if, and that's even affiliates. A lot of you out there are using the same bridge or the same landing page as everybody else. And it's like, customize it a little bit, customize it. Like Davis is saying, customize, stop being addicted to done for you. Stop being addicted to done for you email. Stop falling for this stuff. Stop falling for all this bullshit out here. I am serious. I'm on another level lately, and I think from now on, just about the, look, if we and I've got to talk like this to get people's attention, or else nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to listen, and they're going to keep getting either hurt or falling for the gimmicks that are sold, because people are always going to be selling it, always going to be selling done for you easy. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying I'm a guy who, even when I use the word easy, I think twice, like, damn, is this really an appropriate use of this word? Because I don't want anybody to think this is easy, that like so easy that you just pay and then press a button. It's not. But here's the point, is there's about 30 to 90 days of just learning stuff, of just being new, of just being the new person. You're just the new person. And then once you get through that, it's better. And you know what you're doing. And maybe you've made maybe you do what Davis did. I don't always recommend just wiping everything and throwing stuff out. Like I don't personally think that that's what everybody on this live should do. But it's what Davis felt was right for him, and now he's back rocking it. And do you have any regrets? And if so, what are they?
So probably my biggest regret was that at first I didn't truly learn skill. I was just creating contents and I didn't learn copywriting, storytelling. I didn't learn anything except for content creation. But right now, when I started to spending time to learn the skills, and things changed. You need to learn the skills before you can succeed. But not only the skill, but you need also to work on yourself, on your mindset, on your own limiting belief.
Right.
Like most people will never succeed in the first 3 to 6 months or even a years of their business. I wasn't successful at all in my first 3 months or maybe 4 or 5 months. I wasn't like right now. So I would suggest to learn skills, and also 90% of the time, like not the 90% of the work, you should be focusing on your own mindset, your limiting belief. You need to work on that, because if you think yourself like a failure, then you will always be a failure. You need to change the paradigm, the way you think. You need to like most of us quit because we listen to our own negative emotions. But like try to use your mind to decide. Don't use your emotions to decide. When you feel bad, don't make any decision, because you only make worse decisions. Try to use your mind more, and then
Mm.
try anything that can make you be more positive. and learn how to do the exact opposite of what your emotions tell you to do. Because when you learn how to discipline your emotions, your life
Mm.
changes. That's how I am have been learning in this journey.
You know what? It's weird, man. I've got quite a few Asian friends that I just feel like you guys are really skilled at that. And maybe that's just me, my own, but man, is that something within your culture that was a seed was planted about really, because I'm thinking about so much from Asian from from Asian culture in terms of things that I'm not even qualified to talk about. I mean, just meditation but where did that come from? I mean, where did was that something that you just kind of realized? Do you think it has no attachment to your culture and how you were brought up, or is that something that you had to learn on your own and you just 19 years old, you're in France and you're just like, "Hey, I gotta get a hold of my emotions here." Or where did that come from? Because I think that's a big there's a lot of things to talk about around that topic.
So in my entire life, I was surrounded by ambitious, like undisciplined people, and
Mhm.
I just didn't
Okay.
want to be like them. So I
Yeah.
tried to watch motivational videos. I tried to uh, read books like Think and Grow Rich, Rich
Okay.
Dad Poor Dad, something like that, to change my mindset. And whenever I feel bad, I try to watch motivational videos, and
Alright.
that things keep running in my mind whenever I feel like quitting. I need to rethink why the reason why I started. I need to persevere through this. I need to stay consistent, and because that is like the mindset of achiever. So I try to adopt it, and I know that when we change our thought, we can change our life, and everything should start with your own mindset.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't agree more, and basically what you're saying is that what you're doing right now, is has just simply come from looking around as a young man and really having some examples of some things that you didn't want to be like, and I can absolutely relate to that. So there's actually more similarity in in our cultures than differences. And isn't that always the case when we really look deeper? um so this is an amazing story and an amazing journey that you're on, and the beautiful part is that you're just getting started. I mean, you're just this is it's sometimes this show, I feel like I'm like, hey, congratulations, but it's like, I mean, congratulations for getting started, but you're just getting started. I mean, and that's what I want everybody also to realize and understand, is that you sitting in, where are you at, an apartment in France right now?
Yeah,
A
so I'm in a shared apartment with my
hostel?
friends.
You're just in an apartment. You've got room. I mean, you're you're just at the very beginning of your journey. I mean, and it doesn't even matter that you're 19. I could be talking to anybody. The majority of people that I talk to that are on this show are at the beginning of their journey, the majority. Now, occasionally somebody comes through and has maybe a year or three under their belt, but most people are new like you. And I mean, are you able to even imagine what's possible? And I ask it that way because I could have never imagined how my life is today. I have time freedom, and the most valuable thing that I'm not willing to give up is the flexibility and the freedom that I have to pivot on a dime and and just be with my son or be with my wife, or that flexibility. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be traveling around speaking on stages, being the guru of gurus. It's just not. I'd rather be rich than famous. Now, you let me know in the comments if you want to be famous. I mean, look, there's some people in our community that can teach you how to be famous, but let me tell you something. Being rich is so much more fun than being famous, because being famous, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, and everybody's all up in your business. But being rich is, it's the ultimate life. It's the ultimate life, being rich and nobody knowing who you are. And that's what the internet does for me, is that I have my business life here on the internet in a section of the internet. And then once I turn the camera off, or I go offline, or I put my phone down, I've got a private life that I can enjoy with my wife and my kids, and I can turn it all off and just go right into relaxation mode. And I don't think people really understand that. For me, let me go back to what I was asking was, I would have never imagined how good that would have felt. Also, financial freedom, all that, being able to buy the things that you want and all that. But can you begin to see some of those childhood dreams about being financially free, even wealthy? Can you see a path to those actually becoming a reality with these business models?
I actually right now I can see it, but before I couldn't see it because like I didn't know about this opportunity, and if I didn't take action, then I could never believe that it can come true. So you need to like dream big, give yourself at least 6 to 12 months of like learning this business model to like actually learn how to do it the right way, and try to um think the way successful people think. Try to like listen to their live stream like every time. Like when I first started, for 3 months straight forward, almost every single day, I have been watching your live, and that's what I did. I tried to um like think like the way successful people think, and like try when we take action, when we imagine about it, like it just comes to it, like the law of attraction and like some principle of subconscious mind, it just comes to it the more we think about it, because it becomes an obsession, it becomes your dominating thought, and the more you think about it, the more you can imagine the life and the possibility of achieving like everything you want with this.
Here's the other thing. For those of you who hear what Davis is saying, let me add to that. Here's what I also think is really important, is those dreams and that vision and that obsession that you have inside of your head that you're talking about. Find a place to speak it out all the time, because if you just keep it in your head, it eventually is gonna, it's like a washing machine, it's eventually just gonna, another load's gonna come in, you know and if you gotta speak it out, because then what happens is you get a reaction from people. You either get a, oh, that's stupid, or grow up, and then you're like, all right, next. And then you get from the next person or two people or three people, they're like, damn, I'm listening, and or they like, or they comment, or they go and give their email address, or they buy. And then you're like, oh shit, now you got some confidence. Because in this business, and the internet is the perfect place to do this, because it's not like you have to go stand on your street block with a microphone. You don't have to do that. You can do the video in the privacy of your own home. You speak it into the phone or whatever. But you got to speak it. And then what happens? Follow it up with action. Now, what's the action? First of all, speaking is action, but also, write the email. Take that same story and put it into the written form, and then just every day, just practice that storytelling, that delivering of that message, both verbally and also in the written form. And eventually, both you get better at doing it, you get better at doing the video, you get better at delivering the message, but also you've built up momentum and people are buying now. That's where the obsession goes to addiction. And now all of a sudden it's like, man, I'm not just like obsessing about potentially this happening. It's happening. Now all of a sudden I got people who are responding and even relying on pieces of content, new things from me, new emails. You'd be amazed how people will, how many of you right now, this show and what we're doing here at Legendary is important to you. I don't know that until I get on the live and speak to you, but I have to trust that it's important to you until somebody comes on and tells me that it's important. And then I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's really important to them. And it matters. And then I keep doing it, and the sky's the limit. But I'm glad that you can begin to see a little bit of a path to some of those dreams that you had as a child coming true, because what will happen, in my opinion, and this is my experience, is that the goals that you have right now, you'll shortchange yourself and you'll achieve things that are beyond what you can imagine, beyond, way beyond your little goals list that you made, your cute goals list. We all love to sit down and make, write your goals out. That's what we go to a seminar and they tell us, write your goals out. And it's like, oh, wow. I learned how to set goals, and it's like, let me show you how to execute on. You know what? I don't want to show you how to set goals. I want to show you how to make the goals that you set look like a child wrote them, to where you look back on them and say, I can't believe that I wanted so little for myself. I wanted so little for myself. I really didn't feel that I deserved more than a 2-bedroom house, did I? You know what I mean? I mean, just seriously. I mean, I encounter this all the time. I mean, I understand. Look, I understand you get to a level of greed. We're seeing it happen over in Russia right now. We've got a man who's insane. He needs to be taken out. I said it. He's greedy. You know what I mean? It's like, you got a lot of land, bro. Chill. But he wants more. You know what I mean? And it's like, I understand there's sick, toxic greed. But what from reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and also, see, Sarah says this, that's passion, hon. That's passion. If you've not experienced that somewhere before, it's okay. Stick around. I'll show you more passion. I'll show you more passion. And you'll see a lot more from a lot of people on this show. I see everything that comes through, but just, I got to focus on the guest. But when something funny comes, I like to sometimes occasionally respond to it. But here's my point, really, is that, we shortchange ourselves when we set goals and when we try to imagine what's possible. And I think it's much better for the majority of us to focus on the pain of what we want to get away from at the beginning, rather than what we want to achieve, because it's hard to even imagine what's possible. But what I am crystal clear about is what I want to get away from and what I want to stop hurting. And that's also what people can relate to the most when they're watching my marketing. And that's why marketing that talks about, people's pleasures, and hey, this is going to help you achieve all this, and you're going to get, you're going to take your 4-pack from a 4-pack to an 8-pack, or you're going to get healthier, or you're going to get more motivated. People are like, cool, man. But I'm telling you, if somebody's got, tooth pain, or they're about to get evicted, they're down to their last little bit of money, they just lost their job, they're like, that pain is so motivating. And that's why it's really important as marketers to get really good at talking about that pain. In that, I won't forget that you originally started this conversation off by saying that was one of the things that you've really started to focus on in more of your content. So that's fantastic, Davis. What would you leave us with? What final piece of information, advice, or experience would you leave us with as we wrap up?
So like, I would like to like share more about how to overcome negative thoughts, because I know that when we first start, we have a lot of self doubt and like negative thoughts around us. So whenever you think about a possibility, like whenever you think about failure, you just think about, is that a fact or is that just your own opinion? And if that's
Mm.
your opinion, then that's not true. Then just forget about it. Write down every single thought, like negative, positive thoughts you have at the end of the day, like journaling, and try to eliminate the old negative thoughts about yourself and your life by new ways of thinking. Like instead of thinking like I'm a failure, I couldn't make money online, you can think like I'm learning how to make money online and I'm gonna be successful even though I will fail at first.
Mm.
Try to change the way we think, and then our life will change accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah. Powerful, man. A lot of this game is mindset and the dynamics. I mean, it's more than just mindset. We've covered a lot of this in the last hour. A lot of the really important and really, I think, simple ways to get started to help yourself to be a little bit more focused and a little bit less emotionally volatile. And I have another way of saying what you said earlier, which is something that I learned in treatment. you know, uh, I had uh, I had entered into treatment in December of 2004, I think, and did 16 months back then, and that was sort of my first experience into sort of treatment and in recovery. But um, I over E was one of the ways that I remembered intellect over emotion, to try to remember to make decisions that were based that really, yeah, were not those big emotional decisions. And one other thing that I wanted to add to your amazing advice from earlier is that oftentimes a good night's sleep can do absolute wonders for your mental, your mindset. You know, if I'm tired, I could want to throw the business out the window. But if I'm rested, I've got a different perspective. Sometimes it's something as simple as that will change the game for you. Simpler eating habits, to where you're not, not eating for half a day or three quarters of a day, and then all of a sudden, panicking because you're starving. I mean, there's little things that we can do. I learned that it was self-care. I didn't know what that meant for many years. Caring about myself, that wasn't a priority. But self-care is something that helps me be a better entrepreneur. It helps me be a better marketer. When I take care of I don't have to be I don't have to be Mr. Olympian. I just try to get a good night's sleep, have some exercise when I can fit it in, and try to eat in a way that doesn't leave me panicking or rushing to go get something, and then I'll just grab some fast food, and maybe then I'll be in the bathroom for the next hour and a half. You get the picture. Anyways, Davis, my friend, it's been a pleasure and honor. Keep up the great work, and please come back and see us again in the future.
That's for sure. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you to everyone who is watching the live stream. I hope that I can deliver as much as value as possible to you guys.
You did, my friend. It was wonderful, and we'll talk to you really soon. Okay.
Thank you so much. Goodbye. Have a great
All
weekend.
right. See you, Davis. All right, my friends, you can find Davis. Of course, we've had his Instagram handle up on the screen at Masters Wealth. Masters Wealth, spelled exactly how it sounds. Masters with an S. Masters Wealth. Um, sometimes it requires a clean slate. Sometimes it just requires a good night's sleep. It's amazing what some of us need to feel like we're in a position to start over. And I think the skill of starting over is as powerful as the skill of getting started. Because a lot of times we feel like, well, this is old, it's done, I've screwed it up. Uh, Forget about it. But starting over, coming back, trying again, do over is an important, and it's a skill to learn how to come back to something, pick up the pieces, put it back together, and continue on, stay in the game. An athlete, when they get an injury, they don't throw in the towel completely. That's the last thing they want to do. They need to recover, and then they need to get back on the field. That's what they want. That's what we do as well. Tune in tomorrow, another episode. Thanks again, Davis. Have a great day. Get out of here. Be legendary. We'll talk to you all later. Peace.